Hello everyone. Today we're gonna share about American music, and our team have 5 members. Mỹ Duyên, Đoan Trang, Thu Hương, and Hồng Vân. And our presentation has first of all the evolution of music, next legends of American music, and the final is conclusion. Every year, thousands of artists come and go, but only a few of them lasting impression in the hearts of music lovers around the world. Musical legends who will always be remembered for their great contributions to the culture. And now let's review evolution of American music.
So let's follow the history of 7 key music branches as they evolved at the USA from the early. In 1983, the first ever blues music being played by a train guitar at a train station in Tyler, Mississippi, is mainly phrased as a mixture of work songs would combine to create a narrative call and response form adopted by later music genres. The early, the early development of jazz music in New Orleans brought new community life of the city as demonstrated by brass band in Paris. Began in the mid-1920s, country music was born of a truly multicultural blend of global genres. It is folk balladry, blue music, and French music, and its mainstream businesses. In 1940s, blues converted to form rock and roll. The range from its draw and its many subsidiary jazz were born. So music sprang from the blues club, churches, and street corner of the USA. It was the combination of races and myths that defined with summership and has been constantly evolving since the 1950s. The early 1970s came of music, new music hip hop spread around the USA like wildfire, with every major city developing its own unique brand of this. Electronic dance music has, has spread into one of the most popular genres among young Americans today. The sound, as we know, is intended to have an impact in 1992 with the opening of NASA Natural Audio Sensory Awakening in New York City. And next, we will introduce some legends of American music.
Michael Jackson, August 29, 1958, June 25, 2009, World. He is regarded worldwide as one of the most significant culture history. His contribution to music, dance, fashion, personal life made him a global figure in popular culture. He influenced artists across many genres, stage and video performance. He the most awarded music artist in history and one of the best-selling music artists of all time, with estimated sales of over 350 million records worldwide. Jackson made his professional debut in 1964 with his elder brother and began solo career in 1971. He helped the success of MTV and continued to innovate with video on the album Bad Dangerous History, Past, Present, and Future, and Twister. Jackson has Jackson had 50 Billboard Hot 100 number one single, more than any other male artist, and were the first artist to have a top 10 single. His honor include 50 Grammy Awards, 6 Brit Awards, and a Golden Globe Award, 39 Guinness World Records, including the most successful entertainer of all time. Jackson has been referred to as the king of pop because he transformed the art of music video. For most of Jackson's career, he has a worldwide influence over the young generation. Until 25, 2009, less than 3 weeks before the first this show was due to begin in London. Without concert show up, Jackson died of cardiac arrest. So the next Jan will introduce the other legend of music.
Hank Williams, by name of Hiram Williams, and also called the Hillbilly Shakespeare. He is an American singer, a songwriter, and guitarist who in the 1950s arguably became country music. First superstar, an immensely talented songwriter and an impassioned vocalist. He also experienced a great crossover success in the popular music market. About his career next, in a career that spanned only 15 years, 35 of his singles reached the top 10 of the Billboard Country and Western Music Chart, including 11 that ranked number one. His hits include Move It On Over, You're Cheating Hot, Hey Good Looking, Cold Cold Hot, I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry, Lovesick Blues, Jambalaya, and I'll Never Get Out of This World Alive. The Pulitzer Prize Board awarded him a posthumous special citation in 2010 for his craftsmanship as a songwriter who expressed universal feeling with poignant simplicity and played a pivotal role in transforming country music into a major musical and cultural force in American life. Williams' music itself was not especially groundbreaking. He was a deft synthesizer of blues, honky-tonk country, western swing, and other genres. However, his plaintive, bluesy phrasing were unique and became a touchstone of country music. Country music historian Bill Malone wrote that Williams sang with the quality that has characterized every great hillbilly, hillbilly singer, utter sincerity. Despite William Mary well-known heartbreak song, it should also be remembered that he was capable of writing and singing with great joy and humor, as are, for example, Howling at the Moon. William's music itself was not especially groundbreaking, thought though he was a deep synthesizer of blues. Uh, about his death, um, the last year of his life was suffused in increasing sadness and substance abuse. He died of a heart attack in a drug and alcohol-induced stupor in the backseat of the car, and that's all from Hank Williams. And next, we will take turn to introduce you to another legend.
The last one is Elvis Aaron Presley. He was born at January 8, 1935 and passed away in 16 August 1977. He's also known simply as Elvis, was an American singer, musician, and doctor. He is regarded as one of the most significant cultural icons of the 20th century, and is often referred to as the king of rock and roll. During his 2 decade singing career, Elvis Presley set and broke records for audience attendance and sales. Since the death of the king of rock and roll, more than 250,000 people have claimed to have seen him somewhere, sometime in the theater, now on a farm, now in a large hall in Michigan. This shows that the number of Elvis fans is countless, and it is difficult for people to accept his premature departure. As one of the most famous names in the music industry, Presley lived in a lavish and rich life, but few people know that his childhood was very poor. Elvis was born on January 8, 1935, in a ramshackle tent in Tupelo, Mississippi. He was supposed to have a twin brother named Jess Garen, but Garen died shortly after birth because he was too weak, 20 years at the peak of his career. Elvis Presley made a great contribution to development of American music industry, leaving behind immortal melodies. It's Love Me Tender, Can't Help Falling in Love, Loving You, Tomorrow Never Comes, Unchained Melody, I Miss You, and so on. Elvis and Lucky Friends began to perform in clubs. On the radio, they recorded the second single, Good Rocking Tonight, then three more and gradually gained popularity. A year later, Presley's profile became crowded in American South, about how the singer began to write in the magazine Billboard, Cashbox as a future star of country music. In January 1956, Elvis Presley was recorded, the first song under the name Elvis Presley. The album after this success was recorded by Inspiration itself, and the success was huge. First place in the US chart. A million LPs with this album were sold almost immediately. In the last year of his life, Elvis Presley fell into crisis. The addiction to opium led to a series of health problems. His physique became fat, but the male singer still actively performed, as singing was his life reason. After his death, Elvis Presley became a legend. He's, he, he's an iconic resin on clothing, television, or everyday objects. In the first in the 21st century, fans remember Elvis in many ways, from floating online music sites for the best song or the album to finding places where Elvis had performed, or even having a lavish party like the way light up a ring. Uh, his nickname. So that's it all about the music legend. So you might will take turn.
And as a matter of fact, some artists are still with us, but some are gone forever. but they all have one thing in common, the goal of living to the fullest for music. So, who is your favorite musical legend in your heart? Thank you for your listening and watching.